Good morning, all you beautiful love streamers out there, all you beautiful people, beautiful beings of light that's out there on YouTube and my homies on Zoom. We want to welcome you all to the Center for Spiritual Living Charlotte. I am your host, Horace, and if this is your first time, you know what? We are delighted that you have chosen to join us today. Because with modern technology, we are extremely grateful for this opportunity to touch so many lives. So, we want you to share in the wonderful happenings that are occurring here at CSO Charlotte. So, please feel free to visit our website, csoCharlotte.org. You can put in a prayer request and subscribe. So we add our recordings to our website each and every week. So let me tell you a little bit more about who we are. The Center for Spiritual Living Charlotte is a new thought community living in ancient wisdom philosophy based on the science of mind. The science of mind philosophy was developed in the early 20th century by writer and lecturer Ernest Holmes. Dr. Holmes was a man on a mission. He studied truths from all of the world's religious traditions and spiritual paths. Holmes developed a fresh new way for us to look at ourselves and how we fit into our world. So at CSO Charlotte, every philosophy is honored along with every race, sexual orientation, and physical distinction. This is a diverse community. There are many paths to the divine. We can call it God, peace, love, spirit, infinite mind, or the I am presence. It really doesn't matter what you call it. This is your power that resonates within you. You do not have to leave your philosophy or nature of knowledge. You can join us anytime. We recognize and refer to many of the Holy Scriptures, such as the Bible, the Quran, the Torah, the Upanishads, and the Bhagavad Gita. And that's just to name only a few. So let me tell you about our vision here at CSO Charlotte. It is to continue a spiritual community, creating and preparing a succession of future leaders who can fully integrate, teach, and expose this science of mind philosophy and the principles and messages and practices that strengthen the mind, body, and spirit of individuals. One of our aims is to create a high collective consciousness for everyone in this community. We teach everyone the tools to do just that. So come and join us as we meet each Tuesday evening at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we're going to tell you more about that as well because we have an awesome time there on Tuesdays. And you definitely want to know more about what we do. So welcome everyone. Enjoy our service as we celebrate this powerful being which lives within each and every one of us. So before I pass the mic over to our illustrious spiritual leader, Reverend Rosedale, I want to leave you with this thought. So take a deep breath because I really want you to take this in. You don't empower people by giving them tasks and homework. Personal power comes from within when people feel seen, cared about, and respected. And that quote comes from Marsha Reynolds, the author of Coach the Person, Not the Problem, a guide to using reflective inquiry. So our theme this Sunday is seen and being seen. And with that, I'm going to pass the mic over to our fabulous, fearless, illustrious leader, Reverend Rosedale.
Well, thank you so much. Man, oh man, Horace the Bush, man, I like that. Personal power comes from within. Even if somebody doesn't see you, you still are being seen by yourself. Whoa, don't forget that. Divine blessings are flowing through us from this moment on and as us, right? So welcome YouTube streamers and virtual community and everybody everywhere, whoever sees these recordings. Welcome to CSO Charlotte. It is the Mind, Body, Spirit Center. And what we do in the Mind, Body, Spirit Center, which is CSO Charlotte, is we celebrate this integration of the mind, body, spirit. As we at CSO Charlotte do that, we have a celebration. Our celebration, we open up with an affirmative prayer. So first on our platform, we have my birthday sister, Reverend Karen, and I'm not going to let her forget that. So she's going to start waking up and start seeing and being seen like she did today. So you're in for a treat as she's allowing herself to be seen today. So with that all being said, she's going to really open up that prayer for us because she's looking and listening in her own mind. So Reverend Karen, open up that prayer.
Oh, thank you, my sister. To see and be seen. That's what our talk is about today. That's what our life is about today and every day. And as we go into prayer, we see ourselves as the beautiful creations of the One, of the Most High, of God. And knowing that creation as the beauty of all life, as the beauty of all creation, knowing that one power, that power that expresses through each and every one of us, no matter where we find ourselves upon this earth, we all have that power. We all have that power to see and to be seen, to see the beauty in all creation, to see the beauty in all life. And my prayer for us today is to take Reverend Rosedale's message as it is expressed through her perfectly, for each and every one of us to bring into our lives, to help us, to guide us to that higher consciousness of seeing through the eyes of God, of seeing the perfection of all life, no matter what it looks like, and knowing this and feeling that presence within each and every one of us, knowing that is our power. That is our personal power. There is nothing and no one that can put us down, because we are the creations of God. We are the creations of that power, and that power expresses through us. It guides us to see ourselves as the beauty that we are, to see ourselves in front of God, to see ourselves walking this planet in the light and the love of all that is, and in gratitude for this life and gratitude for being part of CSL Charlotte's family. I release this prayer into the universal law, the heart and the eyes and the life of God. And together we say, and so it is.
And so it is. Wow. So thank you, Karen, Reverend Karen. That was phenomenal. So next on our platform is our reader. And oh my God, I cannot say enough about this dude. Alan used to hide all the time. And I would watch him in the classes. And then finally, all of a sudden, for the past year, he has been allowing himself to start seeing and being seen. He didn't wait for us to see him. He didn't say, I don't feel seen. He said, I need to be seen. So that's a phenomenal thing. So remember that. After Alan's reading, you'll find out why it's such a big deal. I invite you to listen to the song, We Are One. Now, remember now, we're going to be talking about concept of one in the talk and all that good stuff. But this song, We Are One, I need you to put that on your mind. And after that, after Alan's reading and you hear that song come to your heart, make sure you're prepared to be seeing and being seen. And Alan, do your thing.
Good morning, everybody. And today, the title of our reading is the sermon title, On Seeing and Being Seen, written by Julie Foe. One of the scariest classes I teach all semester is one I learned from Christopher Harold, my acting teacher and mentor in San Francisco. It's called The Circle of Staring. Despite the name, the goal isn't to stare down the other person, the other people in the circle. It's simply to look at them and let them look at you, which, as it turns out, is terrifying, and especially was for me. My 10 classmates and I literally stood in a circle and looked at each other, sometimes for 30 seconds, sometimes for what felt like 10 minutes or more. If imagining this caused little prickles of anxiety under your armpits, you're not alone. In Harold's class, we started like all groups. There was lots of shifting and giggling, twisting our faces, looking down and crossing our arms, trying to do anything to keep from doing the assignment, which was to just look at each other and let yourself be looked at. Why does the simple act of seeing and being seen causes so much anxiety? I think it has to do with giving up our power of control. Control over what kind of impression we are crafting, how we are seen. This brings us back to the simple act of being seen. Getting to indulge our curiosity in another person feels good, to observe someone's hairline. The catch is that being seen as you're observing is a lot freaking harder. This process taught me a few things. First, it means letting yourself be vulnerable in the moment. Second, being seen while vulnerable is ultimately exactly what most of us crave. Third, seeing and being seen opens a feedback loop for empathy. Fourth, most importantly, when we observe others, we start to realize that the smiles and the shifting and the hiding are all ways we have developed of trying to control others. And I don't mean like the power hungry, evil genius kind of control. I mean that we try to alter a situation to make us feel more comfortable. What we learned in our group after minute upon painful minute is that the moment we dropped that impulse to control and just stayed present, it gave everyone in the group permission to relax. Suddenly, we don't need anything from anyone, and they didn't need anything from us. In that energy, we could simply observe and be observed. So, give yourself permission to be seen, and so it is.
We are all one. We're all connected to that same energy. So relax your eyes, looking into your lap or closing them if you choose. And then take a nice deep breath in and really make it deep and long. And as we exhale, think it's my responsibility to make the world a better place. It's not my neighbors. That idea deserves another inhale. So inhale and slowly exhale. Remember those words that you heard in that song. We are on a mission at CSL Charlotte to make a change. And if we do nothing, we are the ones to blame. So wiggle your fingers and your toes and integrate your mind, your body, and your spirit, and just look around your space with gratitude. Because I'm going to take a gratitude moment right now. And first, I'm going to give great thanks to our fabulous MC, Horace DeBush, who sees and is willing to be seen. He's back this week by popular demand because he does what he needs to do for his community. So thank you for showing up, my brother, all the time. Now, the topic itself, seeing and being seen, came to life with Alan's reading the title On Seeing and Being Seen by Julie Fogg. I love it. So thank you, Alan. And to our awesome Reverend Karen, thank you so much for that heartfelt opening prayer. It really opened the door to the power within us. Yeah. So as we, of course, finish speaking on that prayer thing, I know that the ecclesiastical team is going to continue to hold the watch over our service for the rest of the service. And meanwhile, I'm going to stay in gratitude, you see, because my heart has been excited this week of some of the witnesses, some of the healings that I've witnessed this week through people for different reasons. Oh my goodness. So for those of you who would like to experience any type of healings, whether you're on YouTube or not, look us up. They'll tell you in a short while. Melissa's going to do the announcements and let you know more about it. Join our consciousness meetings. You will be glad you came. So our talk title, Seeing and Being Seen, is what we're going to be talking about. So here's what I know. Showing who we are and seeing others can be a hard thing to do, but it's something we all want. We do. I know you like to say, do I really want it? Yes, we do want to see other people, but it's hard to find that balance between being seen by yourself and seeing other people. So one of the biggest things that help with that is vulnerability. It takes time to really open up to vulnerability and become open and honest. It may be a difficult thing to turn around and see the truth in all the things around us because of all the crap we hear all day, but we have to allow ourselves to be seen. Allow. In other words, I know a lot of people would like for someone else to see them, but no, allow yourself to be seen. Alan read this thing about this circle of staring today, and I just decided to do some research on it. And it's pretty wild stuff to me because it's all centered around this concept of eye gazing. And some people call it intimidating. But the goal is that when you practice this eye gazing, it's really not meant to be intimidating. It's really meant for people to let themselves be looked at and look at each other, even though the author of the book called it, the reading called it circle of staring, but she also called it intimidating because she said each person stood there with 10 other people standing in this circle, and they were looking at each other for 30 seconds, and some of them thought it was 10 minutes. So that makes you think, wow, that could be kind of nerve-wracking. But some people in here today where we're sitting may be afraid of the thought of standing in a circle with 10 or more people staring at each other in each other's eyes. But see, this practice really, it's about recognizing you have this irrational fear. And then once you realize that you have an irrational fear, then getting involved with some spiritual practices or a little bit of what did I do this week? Research, right? See, because it can be challenging to make direct eye contact with somebody, but however, it's a great way to read another person's intentions, right? And if you're aware of yourself first. The research shows that direct contact, eye contact, gives us insight on our behavior and the other person's. This is especially useful in like these social situations. You go to the movie theater and you're talking to your friend that you're with and other people that you're with. Start looking in the eyes. Making eye contact can be one of the most difficult things for some people, but practicing spiritual practices really help you because it's you who are having this irrational fear. See, some people feel uncomfortable when someone looks directly into their eyes and they tend to look away, they want to avoid eye contact. And I was that way at one time. What I found out about myself, though, was through much spiritual practice, that what I found out about myself was each and every one of those times I can look back and I had something on my mind. That's what helped me to realize it. And one of the things I can remember is sometimes I had things I had on my mind that I didn't want to discuss with the person, right? Sometimes I was there probably pissed off with the person. And that wasn't just at that point, I guess it wasn't the time to discuss it with them. But because of The reason why I didn't probably want to discuss when I'm angry is that I'd be afraid sometimes of how I may be exhibiting my behavior when I'm feeling a certain way. So, see, there's reasons. So you go in and you find out, why am I unable to look in somebody's eyes and have someone look into mine? See, there were other situations, I'm sure you all know that you had some, but you know what? I might have even said to when I was on jobs, you know what? I'm out of here, and I'm not willing to share that with you either. You know what I mean? So eye gazing is a powerful source of spiritual information, conveying our thoughts and our feelings and our attention. And you know what else I think about in hindsight? I believed that those people that I was talking to would find out what I was thinking. But you know what? It is true. But one of the things I gave them too much credit for, because back in the day, the people who I was around at that time were not aware like that. So therefore, they couldn't have even, but now I know. See, I learned that many people don't really pay attention authentically, and they cannot look at each other in the eyes or vulnerably. Authenticity and vulnerability are very, very important to practice and to become them. So back in the day, I was that way. And I really understand what it's like not to be able to look in people's eyes. So first of all, the most important thing to do is get your own self-awareness if you want to be aware of other people. So that's how you become authentic enough to really read anybody. So I started taking a lot of time back then and reading and understanding and really paying attention what's not being said by people. A great deal of research has been conducted on the importance of eye gazing. See, eye gazing is great for understanding social connections. It plays a crucial role in communication between all types of people. And you know what? Spiritual information is transmitted eye to eye contact. Just know that. Because this information also is going to help us to avoid any direction, any harm that's directed towards us. And you know what? The most important thing about it, it's going to help us to know when communication lines are open or closed between us. You know, we're born to protect ourselves when we are not afraid. You heard me. When we're not afraid to look and see people and knowing the truth about ourselves. I know the truth about me, so I'm not afraid to look at you. That's what seeing and being seen is really all about. What is seeing ourselves then first? What is that really all about? Let's think about that. I'm gonna break it down to a little bit because I understand why I like this. At CSL Charlotte, we practice and we stand in a community every Tuesday where we do different things to authenticate ourselves. Yeah, authenticate is a good word. Okay, you know, we practice vulnerability and authenticity, and we nurture that. And we just keep trying and working on sharpening what's in here. See, with our practices at CSL Charlotte, we make it important to understand the role, R-O-L-E, of personal reflection and responsibility. We have a personal responsibility to ourselves and each and every person that we are in our circles with. Really, I mean, we're not there to just fluff off and, we reflect on us individually first. And see, that's what seeing ourselves is all about, taking responsibility, being authentic, and actually building up your own thing. I say this a lot. Build your emotions. Make yourself happy for this moment. That's just practicing. And it's good to keep practicing. So what's seeing others about then? Now I see me, Now, what's seeing others about? Well, I can tell you this is what it's not. It's not seeing them as we think they should be now or in the future. It requires present moment eyes right here. That person, we're seeing them the way they are right now. So if a person comes to me and says, I am having a rough time, I'm feeling bad because the job, whatever. Well, I don't see you as a loser. Present moment eyes. And we have to stop worrying about people judging us because that's a big thing and people don't like to admit it, but it's true. They don't like people judging them, but they don't want to say that people judge them. But you know what? I know people judge me and I'm okay because I realize that it's really on them because you see, that's a waste of time for me to sit down here and try to figure out how I'm going to judge you. It's a waste of time for them to do that to me, but I don't care because it's on them. Self-reflection is what brings us to that next level. And I'm going to take that time on mine. I'm not going to take that time on judging you. It's not important enough. See, this is the thing. Without self-awareness and knowing that we are all a part of this unified oneness, then we get to feel overwhelmed and disconnected from this divine source, which is the allness, because the oneness. If you can't feel one in a conversation with someone that day, stop the conversation and come back another day. Don't go judging them for the rest of the week or whatever. Blah, blah, blah. Just let it be. So when people judge me, I know that they're just feeling separated from the one. That's the truth. It's not a makeup thing. And see, the feeling of separateness leads to fear, depression, and anxiety, and that blocks you from realizing your own potential. So can you get why in the world would I think that self-reflection is important? Well, one of the things it does is it allows us to see ourselves through our eyes, not for what people see it, and not so we can physically fix something, right? We know we don't fix anything, we see it, right? I just keep seeing visions when I'm talking. So now, when I think about certain people nowadays, I just say, I'm not going to lose sleep over that. I get it. That's their problem. So we use spiritual practices a lot. I am stoked in spiritual practices. And you know what else? I choose to see things through spirit from within me. I know that when I speak up through a prayer, that a spiritual practice is a prayer, right? I know that. So I know that when I'm speaking, I'm in a new realm. I am not in my physical being, and I allow myself to move from being physical and thinking about anything else. My thing is spot on. I know that this prayer is going to make it do it. So when we get together for prayer amongst our peers, let's say, for example, I have several people that I have prayer partners with. Karen is one. And so for the thing is, spirit is the pilot in this prayer session that we're having. It's otherwise, because if it's not, it's convoluted to be talking about anything physical. Oh, you know, what happened to her? No. We're praying for something right now. Oh, but you know what I think? No. Don't get convoluted because we're here for the prayer and we need to be about prayer time. Now, we can discuss anything we want another day and have time to talk from our physical mind. But in that prayer session, we are here to see each other. I'm seeing them, they're seeing me, and we are there to see each other because that's the thing that prayer is about. See, the mind, here's the thing about the prayer and the mind. The mind that brought us into that pain or that experience that we're having cannot be the same mind to bring about the healing for that pain or that experience. See, the thing is this, if we're going to say, oh, you want me to pray for that? But let me just tell you this. No. Let's pray about it because it's nothing personal. It's just that we're here to pray. So let's do that. So spiritual practice and prayer works, but we have to work it and use it in the time frames that we get it in. not to play games. We're not here to talk about anything else, but we're here to pray about that. So let's get into that realm. So we're seeing each other, and that way we know that, the chit chat, it doesn't matter right now because the prayer is taking the wheel and we see each other. Wow. So it's time for us in the prayer session to move towards the aspects of our prayer. I see you, you see me. And once we begin talking that spiritual, in the spiritual realm, it flows through my mouth. That's the spirit. It flows through my mind, right? And then my body, my mouth, right? And through spirit. So the mind, body, spirit integration is what exists when we come together as prayer partners. And so we are seeing and being seen. So the mind that created, remember that, because I said that and somebody never let me forget it. The mind that created the problem cannot be the mind that heals it. And that means if I'm talking about something, and I say this with my prayer is, and you're trying to tell me something else, let me get into the mind that can heal it, not the physical mind that you may be experiencing or I'm experiencing. So that's what we got to see, guys. We got to see that. And so this is why I say that, because we're one. Whenever we get together with somebody, we are one. We're seeing and we're being seen. The science of mind philosophy explains that we are all connected. And even though we may differ in our ways, we are still all one. That's the song, right? We just heard. The power flows through each of us in different ways. Let's use that power when we take that time, right? And then we also want to remember this concept, because remembering it is how we connect deeply with each other, see and experience each other. That's exactly what seeing and being seen is about. Now, understanding this oneness really encourages us to embrace our individual uniqueness, right? One more thing about seeing and being seen, and that is this. I personally know people who are critical of everything they watch. They go, oh, she had on purple today. Oh, he had on green today. But you know what? They're criticizing everyone and sizing up everything. Oh, that shouldn't have been over there. That should have been here. That your mind is always finding fault and complaining about what you're hearing, right? That's you seeing you now. Because now when it's time to watch you, you can only see the flaws in yourself because you see so many flaws in other people, and you have all these solutions that you could make up in your head about them. So you're seeing with the same energy that you're being seen from. So change your mind. Yes, change and train your mind. That's what we want to do, because that's the reason for the spiritual practice. That's the reason for the prayer work, to change our minds, not to sit there and tell somebody, this is what no, pray. And then when you get into that prayer, oh my God, it's just good. Or let's practice. When you get into that practice, oh, this is good. The practice, right? The prayer is a spiritual practice, right? And so is guided meditation. And so is visioning. But we have a special purpose to express our own unique energy. And that's what we do. And that's how we show up in the world. And that's who we show ourselves who we truly are. So just know that when we're doing this recognition, we begin to see the power of vulnerability as a means of strength, belonging, connection, and community. Watch that as you recognize your vulnerability when you're with others, whether you're practicing spiritual practices, praying, or whether you are just having just a meeting with each other, and it's nothing spiritual right now necessarily, but it's all spiritual. But you're there. Seeing and being seen are two of the most powerful forces in life. And so we begin by starting to really see others and to allow ourselves to be seen. And that's how we create the opportunity where we can try, we can make mistakes, we can reflect, and then we can even try again in these relationships. So just know that. So just remember this next song as it's coming on, and it's about when we choose to be the change that we wish to see in the world, we create an opportunity for other people to see us, an opportunity for them, not for us to rely on them seeing us. Being seen is the light that that leads us to a greater personal growth and development. And then it also, I think somewhere along the line, it helps us inspire. I think Alan might have said it in the talk. It helps us inspire other people to change because we're leading by example, something like that. I've heard that. I heard so much stuff this week. I'm always in something. But you know what? With all said and done, watch and listen, rather, this next song by choosing to be the change you wish to see. And you have the potential to make a lasting impact on CSL Charlotte, our community, and your own life and beyond. So listen to this song, Be the Change You Wish to See. Powerful. Be the change you wish to see in this world. You heard him. There is no lock or combination. Here's the key. You have to be the change you wish to see. Yeah, man. So now I'm going to hand this mic back to our fabulous MC Horace the Bush.
We like to take this opportunity to recite out loud our affirmative giving statement.
And I'm going to hand it back over to our esteemed Reverend Rosedale. Thank you.
Oh, wow. Yeah. So a community that prays together stays together. Guys, if you have not received a request, a prayer from Mo, then you have not put in a prayer request, and it is time for you to do that. Move that number from 358 to 330 by the end of this week. Think about your prayers. Think about your wonders and the greatness that you would like to achieve or that you have achieved that you want to be grateful for. And you will be on your way. So just don't forget that. And Melissa, those were phenomenal. Thank you so much for your time and doing your announcements today. So this is the time that we really take time, right? To do the birthdays, right? This is that time. And now what I would like to know is some more things for your birthday. Your date, just your date, not your year, just your date. And the thing is, you all know your birthdays. I don't. So whatever your birthday is, jot it in so we can celebrate. We will take a moment to celebrate your wonderful birthday and just be great. But like Melissa had mentioned Horace actually mentioned about the donations. It's real important to talk about that right now because we ask now that you really consider making donations to CSL Charlotte. I am out there all the time, meeting people, letting people know we are a virtual community, but we are going hybrid. The next vision that I came up with recently was going hybrid. After writing the book and all these other things and going hybrid, because we're strictly a virtual community. And what right now is what we do is we have made our mark online, but now we got to make a larger impact virtually. We got to make it to the point where we can continue to deepen that impact so we can be the ancestors that we were meant to be. And the vision is for us to operate securely, store our property safely, broadcasting strong vibes across the world. And we could do that online and in person simultaneously. And looking at it, it looks around about $100,000 just set us up with the great safety measures, with the best technology, and for global outreach. So, and let me just say this before I go. I thank you in advance for your donations, because if you're on YouTube, I thank you in advance for your donations as well. So as always, thank you also goes out to my platform team. I don't know what's going on here, but to Horace the Bush, our fabulous MC, you are awesome and great job on that reading. A team, yeah. And so thank you so much. And Melissa, for those informative announcements. Thank you and also thank you for greeting and spotlighting. And thank you, Groovy G, for keeping everyone informed and in the chat, and for keeping our sound in check. So, and again, thank you now and in advance, Alan, the A-team, for the reading as well as being breakout babe. Okay, so and then to you, Mo, our emeritus spiritual practitioner, thank you so much for sending out those timely prayers the way you do. And as I always tell everybody, if you have not received a prayer, you have not put in a prayer request. So make sure you put that prayer request in so Mo can tap it back right over to you. And go to our website today and start putting it, because if we want to get it up to 3:30 by the week, you got to start putting in your prayers. And I'm quite sure that we don't just have one thing going on in our lives. So you can put in a prayer tomorrow, and then you come up with something on Wednesday. Oh, I'm going to put that prayer in there, because when you keep us praying, you keep us praying for ourselves. So thanks to that, everybody that constantly does send in their prayers for every time something comes up that they want to express or they want to know higher for themselves. Thank you for that, for always sending in your prayers. So thanks again, our fabulous, awesome platform, and for another entire service. So what else do I need to say? I think I've said it all, everything that needs to be said. And don't forget to stay back at the end of the service so you can get your 3-minute prayer. Good. It sends you back off walking on air if you stand tall and do this every week. So remember, seeing and being seen is where you're taking your mind this week. Seeing and allowing yourself to be seen, seeing and being seen. I challenge you this week to remember that seeing and being seen is really, really, truly what life is all about. But here's another thing I know before Reverend Karen prays us out. It's something else about seeing and being seen, and as a community. And it goes like this: if we fall together as a community. When we rise together. So this last song, take it to heart and think about yourself in CSL Charlotte, in your community, rising together. Let this song rock you home. Stronger. Ooh, if we fall together, and we rise together, and together we are braver, together we are stronger, we rise together. That's what CSL Charlotte is all about. And when you see us next year, you're going to say, oh my gosh, she's been saying this over and over, how we were going to go here. Look where we are. Guys, we will rise together. All of us going to the top. See you at the top. Anyway, I promised you that Reverend Karen was going to pray us out. I love Alan. I just love having Alan here because he remembers stuff. So anyway, guys, if we fall together. If when we rise together. All right, go, Reverend Karen.
Oh, thank you, Reverend Rosedale. And rising together, this family at CSL Charlotte has helped me know that I'm not alone in this world, and through each and every person here, I am rising every day to a new dimension. And how we see ourselves, this prayer, I have to say, Reverend Rosedale always asks, how do we see ourselves in the future? How do we see ourselves, how we want to be going down the road? And that is such a valuable question, because it's in the power is within us. As Horace said, we have the power, the personal power that's within us. And that's God. That's God's power. We were born with that light. We die with that light. We go on into infinity with that light. And that is who we are. And absolutely knowing, as I do this prayer, I am not following the script for treatment, but I'm just speaking from my heart, knowing that as we see ourselves, that can be the hardest thing to do, to see ourselves for who we really are, not what clothes we're wearing, not what shoes we're wearing, not how our hair is combed or colored or cut or anything else, but to see our real selves, the beauty that God made us. There's a quote by Ernest Holmes that says, through my eyes, God sees the perfection of his kingdom. I too see the beauty in all creation. And we are part of that creation. We are God's creation. My prayer for us is to see ourselves, to know ourselves, to look at ourselves in the mirror and look at our own eyes, to stare at us and say, you are a beautiful soul. You are a creation of God. Knowing this and being so thankful for this service today, for Reverend Rosedale's message, for each and every person on this platform who delivered a piece of this message in their own way and in their beautiful light. I say, thank you, God, thank you, God, thank you, God, and join me in releasing this prayer for a beautiful week, a beautiful month, a beautiful day, bringing and making a difference in this world, because we are not alone. We need each other. We have each other, and we have God. And in this, I release this prayer into the universal law, and together we say, and so it is.
And so it is, Karen. Rock that prayer out this morning, girl. Oh my God, girl, you did that thing, girl. Right behind the we fall, we rise. Oh, Karen, and you prayed. Oh, y'all, did you feel her prayer? Did you feel it? Oh my God, I've got God bumps all over me. Reverend Karen, you are fabulous. So anyway, it's now time to wrap it up, y'all. And for me to say, it's been a wonderful service and I just love it. I got a chance to look at our chat this morning and I saw a nice little conversation going on. So I thought it was very wonderful for Darcel to bring in the thing about the kids. That was so, not just kids, because autistic is but it was a thought. It's something to give us some fruit for thought. So it was fabulous. And I loved the way Horace came in and chimed in. So that was just phenomenal, you guys. So yes, what else do I need to say? Have a wonderful day.